Hey guys, PogoStick29 here. Welcome to episode 2 of MagicBattle coding. In this episode, we are going to add configuration to the plugin so we can save all of our arena data, pretty much. I don't think I have any announcements to make, so we can actually go ahead and get started. So let's go ahead and make our SettingsManager class. And this one's going to be very similar to the one we did in Pogoball. Private SettingsManager. Private static SettingsManager. Instance equals new SettingsManager. Public static SettingsManager get instance return instance. Then we are going to have our private file arena file and our private file configuration arena config. Public void setup plugin p. If p dot get data folder dot exists, p dot get data folder dot mkdir. If the data folder doesn't exist, make the directory. Arena file equals new file p dot get data folder arenas dot yml. If arena file dot exists, try arena file dot create new file, catch exception e. And for now, we're just going to say e.print stack trace. You may want to put an error message that is user-friendly there. Finally, arena config equals yml configuration dot load configuration arena file. Good. Now we have our public void set string file. No, sorry. String path object value. Arena config dot set path value. Try arena config dot save to arena file. Catch exception e and e.print stack trace. And our public t get string path. What's wrong with this? Oh yeah, sorry. It's a public t. Then we are going to say return t arena config dot get at path. And just ignore that. Okay. That should be good for the settings manager. So now let's go into our Arena and ArenaManager classes and actually, save and load some of the data. So in the Arena class, for loading the spawn point for all of the players, we will go ahead and say spawn point equals, we'll say configuration section s equals settings manager dot get instance dot get for arenas dot id dot spawn import configuration section. We can then go ahead and say spawn point equals new location for bucket dot get server dot get world for s dot get string world, comma s dot get double x, s dot get double y, s dot get double z, s dot get double pitch, s dot get double yaw, comma, and no, and flute. Alright, there we go. So basically what we're doing is for this, we're getting the configuration section, which is the spawn for Arena of our ID, and then we're creating the new location from the bucket world for the setting from the string world. Then we're getting the X, Y, and Z doubles, and we're also, in this time, we're going to save the pitch and load and save the pitch in the yaw. That's basically like where the player is looking. So we're saving that. Pitch and yaw are both floats, but since there's no get float method, we can cast double to float, and we're good there. And that is all we need to do for that. And then we can quickly add, when we do add player, we can say p.teleport to spawn point. And we will add more stuff there later. Okay, now let's go ahead into Settings Manager. When we do the setup arenas, this time, I remember in the last time we had like a an integer list of all the IDs, but since then I figured out a better way, and we're going to say for, I believe it is int I equals 0, I is less than, I'm going to try to remember this, SettingsManager dot get instance dot get, and this is going to be arenas, and this is going to be a configuration section, get import configuration section dot get keys true. I believe that that's what we want to do. I'm not sure. I will test it. I++. Now what this, and actually we can just say what was I going to do? Here, for, what is this? Get keys, set string. For string key, SettingsManager.getInstance.getKeys, true. Arenas.add new arena, integer.parseInt key. I'm not completely sure if this is going to work, but what it should do is, here, let me draw a comment so you guys can see. So basically what happens is if we have arenas, and then we have 1, and then we have our spawn information, and then we also have arena 2, and then we have our spawn information. What this should do is we have our arena, we have our arenas, which is a configuration section, and by getting the keys, it should return a set which contains 1 and 2. Because those are the arenas. And then, basically, we're adding a new arena with the integer value of that key. I will test that, but I believe it should work, and it should be easier to, handle it that way than have it the other way that I did it. So that should work just fine. Hang on one second. So, that should be good. The last thing that we're going to do, and before I forget this, is this time we're going to have a customizable number of players that can join. So we're going to have a num players integer. And then we are just going to say this dot num players equals SettingsManager.getInstance.get for arenas.id dot num players. Good. So then we're going to store the number of players, and then in the add player method, we're going to check if the number of players is, if there are too many players. So we can say if num players, and we also need current players, which is 0. So if current players is greater than or equal to num players, then send message once we make the settings manager and return. Then finally, once we do everything, we're just going to say current players plus plus. And then in remove players, current players minus minus. Oh yeah, and also we need a private boolean started equals false. And I believe that should be good. So that is all for this video. We quickly implemented a settings manager, and we set up the Arena and ArenaManager classes. Before I forget, because in Paintball I did forget to do this, and it resulted in an error, we need to set up the settings manager. And we need to do that before we set up the Arena Manager because, we need to do that before the Arena Manager because the Arena Manager, when we call setup arenas, it will call from the settings manager. So that should be all that we need. So as always, subscribe if you want to see more. Comment with what you want to learn for this video or for Bucket in general. And as always, like this video if you liked the video. And I will see you guys soon. Goodbye.